This tutorial will look at using Google Classroom, how you can set up a classroom, and how you can share announcements and assignments with students through Google Classroom. There are many advantages of using Google Classroom. First of all, it's probably the easiest way to share assignments with students, and it easily tracks who has and who has not submitted assignments back to you. You can also provide some feedback to students while they are working on projects, and everything gets automatically stored in a nice, neat classroom folder inside your Google Drive. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to go to Google Classroom and to create a class. So there are a couple of ways you can get to Google Classroom. You can either type in classroom.google.com in your web browser or from your Google Drive. When you're inside your Google Drive, you can go to your waffle and click on More and scroll all the way down to the bottom and you'll see the classroom icon. And you can click on that and it will simply take you to the Classroom sign-in screen. The first time you use Classroom, you'll be prompted to choose whether or not you are a student or a teacher. Click on Teacher. Now once you are inside Classroom, your Classroom homepage will appear blank until you have added classes. So the first thing I'm going to do is to go over to the plus sign, and I have two options: to join a class or create a class. If somebody had given me a class code, I could simply click on Join Class and enter that code to join it. However, I'm going to start by creating a class, so I'm going to go down and click on Create Class. So I'm going to need to give it some details, a class name, a section. So perhaps I'll call this one Test Class 2 and Create. So now that my classroom has loaded, there are a few things I can do to customize it. One of the first things I may prefer to do is to select a theme. So I can click on this, choose a theme to change it if you prefer. And then what you're going to notice are three buttons here: Stream, Students, and About. So the Stream button, first of all, this is where you will post announcements and assignment, and this is where the majority of the action will happen in your classroom. Students, this is where you'll be able to see a list of students who have joined your classroom, and you'll also have a few options such as muting students. And then under the About tab, this is where you can add a few additional information and resources for your class. So here I can enter my class title, and if I wanted to put the location as well. And here there's also an option to add materials, so I could just put course outline. And these would be ongoing resources that they would need throughout the year. So not specific to one assignment. We'll put those other ones in the stream, but these would be ongoing resources that they would need perhaps throughout the whole year. So here I can upload an attachment from my computer. I can upload something from my Google Drive, embed a YouTube video, or attach a link to a website. So I'm going to go and grab something from my Google Drive and add that to here to my resources. And again, I'm going to click on Post and Save. So now you'll also notice here in the About, there's an option here to invite a teacher. If I team teach with somebody, then I will also need to invite the teacher so that they can administrate on this. They do not need to access your account. It will simply show up inside their own Google account in Google Classroom. So now I'm going to go back over to Stream. So one of the first things that we'll want to be able to do is to invite students to join this. Now, there are a couple of ways you can invite students. One of the easiest ways is to simply tell students to go to classroom.google.com or access it from their waffle inside the Google Drive, and then give them the code that is here. Now, if I didn't like this code, if there's too many ones or L's that might be confusing, I can simply keep resetting the code so that I can get something a little bit easier for them to enter. Likewise, I could go onto the Students tab and I can say Invite, And what I can do is start to go through my contacts and invite students that way. I can search here, but it is much easier just to give students the code to invite them. So now it's time to start adding some content to your classroom. And the two main types of content are announcements and assignments. So an announcement is simply a message to your class. And so it might be, please review chapter 2 for homework. And I could post that. I can attach resources, or if it was a video to watch, I can put all of those in there. And I can post it right now. Another option here is, if you go to the drop-down menu, is to save a draft. Some people prefer to save them as drafts so that they can prepare ahead of time and then only post it right exactly when they want the students to be notified. Because anybody who is in this classroom will receive notifications saying that there has been a new assignment or a new post. So I'm going to post mine right now. So just notice how that shows up in the stream. Underneath the assignment that you posted, you'll notice it says add a comment. You may add a comment, but also students will have the ability to add a comment. And these comments are seen by everyone in the classroom. So it can be a great way to have a discussion forum. Now we're going to look at adding assignments. And the assignments is where the magic of Google Classroom really comes into play. So I'm going to go click on assignment, and here I'm going to say title of assignment. So getting to know you. Okay, I can put a description if I want. That is completely optional. So a due date, I can say exactly when I would like this to be due and at a particular time if so. And then the great part about this is I can add an assignment right to it. So perhaps it's something that students need to complete on a Google Doc. So I'm going to go and attach a Google Drive item. So I'm going to post this one here. And here, before I post assign, just above that, it says students can view. Well, that would be fine if I just wanted them to look at it. But if I actually want them to complete this assignment, I have other options. I can click on this drop-down menu. Students can edit. So that is an option you may not use very often, because what that means is that all of your class will be editing the same document. What you might find that you use a bit more is here where it says make a copy for each student. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click on assign. And likewise, I could click on the drop down arrow to save this as a draft. But I'm going to click on assign. So now I have assigned this for all of my students. Each student is going to get a copy. So we're going to go and have a look at what it looks like now inside the student view. So here in the student view, you'll notice it will show us the assignment. And if I click on this, it will take me to the assignment details. So I want to click on this as the student, and now I have options. I can add, create, or turn in. So this one has a file that has already been added by the teacher. If you remember, I've sent a copy to each student. So what the student's simply going to do is click on this, and it opens up the document that they could start working on. So they could type in their answers here, and when they're done editing, you'll notice over here there's the share button, but there's no need to share it with the teacher. All they need to do is submit it, and they can click on this turn in to do so. So it's just confirming, do you want to turn in your work? And we'll say yes, turn in. And then here you'll notice for the student, they do have an option to unsubmit, and it just shows that they've done theirs. And from here they can go back to their stream. And again, here they get the notification showing that it is something that they have completed. Likewise, if there is an assignment that there's not a document that the teacher gave them to work on, what I advise students to do is open the assignment details in Google Classroom, and then I ask them to begin by creating the new document or presentation that they are going to submit to you. And the reason why it's beneficial to do it right here from Google Classroom is that you as a teacher will be able to access this document from your Google Drive and be able to provide feedback as the student is working on it. So let's go back to the teacher view and have a little look at how you can provide some feedback once an assignment is submitted, and how also you can provide feedback throughout. So here I am now back at the teacher view, and you'll notice here with this assignment it shows me that 1 is done, 10 are not done. And what I'm going to do, if I want to find out who is done, I can simply click on Done. And so here it tells me that this student has completed it, and right now it has not been graded or not yet returned to the student. Well, the first thing I should do is probably open it up and have a little look at it. So I could click on his name and I can see that I've got the assignment here. So I can open up his assignment. I could make comments directly on the assignment if I wanted to do some, offer suggestions at specific points. And once I had finished looking at that, I can simply just go back and I can actually close this tab if I'm completely done with it, because we'll see here that this tab was still open, the Getting to Know You. So now if I was going to grade this, I can look at the points. Unfortunately, I can't change what's here. I can either have 1, 20, 50, 100, or something that's completely ungraded. So if I'm going to go out of 20, I can update that. And then I could give him a grade out of 20. I could put in 15. And here it's not returned. So I may want to return them as they come in. Often teachers will wait until all students have submitted, and then in order to return, they simply select that and they return to the student. And again, I can give some individual feedback here on the assignment as I return it to the student. And then when I have ready to go back to my stream, I can just simply hit the back arrow here. Now, if I'm a teacher and my students are working on a longer writing assignment and perhaps I want to give feedback as they're going on, I don't necessarily want to have 35 of them send me emails telling me that they've shared their assignment with them. I will put the assignment in Google Classroom, ask them to create it right from the assignment inside Google Classroom, and then I'll go back to my Drive and I'll show you where you can access all these files as students are working on them. So from my Google Drive, once you have joined Classroom, you will automatically have a Classroom folder in your Google Drive. Students will as well, and that's where all their work that they submit will be stored. So I'm just going to open up my Classroom folder. So here it shows all the classrooms that I have either joined or ones that I am the teacher of. So for example here, if I click on this classroom, it'll show you each assignment, and then it also shows us, and if I put this into a list view, it will show me who's working. So students could be working on these right at the moment so that I can pop in and give some feedback. I could just simply click on these to open them that way. So we hope that you enjoy using Google Classroom with your students.